Congressman, thanks so much for being here with us, getting to take a breath and be back in the district after a pretty intense time in D.C.
It's great to be home in Texas.
I imagine it is. Let's talk about this, what the president has called the big beautiful bill, one big beautiful bill that Republicans just got over the line there in Congress. This one was controversial. There was a lot of back and forth on it. You complained about it, and at one point you said House leadership, Republican House leadership, wants to cram this broken bill down our throats. You complained that the Senate's version of the bill was morally and fiscally bankrupt, but then hours later you voted for that same bill. Politico called this the GOP's big fold. They mentioned you specifically. How do you explain that change of heart that quickly on this bill?
Well, it wasn't a change of heart. Frankly, the Freedom Caucus and other conservatives made a great deal of effort and got a lot of wins in this bill. But frankly, this bill is the beauty and the beast, all in one bill. And that's the way it is. It was a must-pass bill because the tax cuts were going to pass. We had to pass the tax cuts.
Is that the beauty?
That's the beauty.
Okay.
Because every family in North Texas would have seen a $1,500 or so tax increase if we had not done that. That's the beauty of this bill. The beast in this bill is, unless you assume a lot of growth and a lot of tariff income, and I mean a lot, this is going to add to the deficit and the debt. That's the beast in this bill. That's what the conservatives were concerned about.
That's what you were concerned about.
Absolutely.
Too.
We're $37 trillion in debt now. We're still adding $2 trillion a year, even with the bill, and the bill may add another trillion to that. So that's the beast in this bill.
Now, the Congressional Budget Office estimated that this bill would increase the debt by $3.3 trillion over 10 years. You've talked about going to Washington to clean up that sort of mess and not add to the debt. How difficult was it for you then to hold your nose and vote for something that could add $3.3 trillion?
Well, frankly, I voted no on the rule. Now, you have to pass the rule before you can vote on the bill. I voted no on the bill, on the rule, for until about 3 o'clock in the morning. We pulled an all-nighter last Wednesday night.
So what changed in there by the time you got to 3 a.m.?
Because at 1 a.m. the White House started negotiating with us for things outside of the bill, what they will do to offset the beast in this bill.
And what are those things?
Well, there's some we can talk about. One is the president's already done. He put out an executive order that says we are going to truly do away with the Green New Scam, because the Senate had trashed the House version of the Green New Scam version in the bill by allowing projects to go forward far longer.
You're talking about green energy projects.
Green energy projects, you got it. So the president has already done part of it. He put out an executive order, said, no, we're not going to do that. So that's part of what we negotiated at 1 o'clock in the morning.
What other concessions were you able to get? Because again, this bill looks exactly like what you criticized as being morally and fiscally bankrupt. What else did you get on the side?
Well, there are both policies and fiscal offsets in what we agreed to. And I can't get ahead of the leadership as we roll them out and ahead of the White House.
So these were deals that were made on the side, and I've heard criticisms from Democrats on this, basically, alluding to these being sort of backroom deals that we don't have the information on here. But what would you call it, and when will we know what you're talking about?
We call them significant commitments.
Okay, and when will we know about that?
Well, they'll be rolled out over time by the leadership and the administration.
Weeks, months, years?
All the above. Weeks and months, I think, is a fair consideration. But yes, but we had very serious conversations with the leadership and with the White House team, and I have no doubt that they will live up to the significant commitments that we got.
Let's talk a little bit about another one of the estimates from the Congressional Budget Office. They estimated 11.8 million more people are going to go without health coverage because of this bill over those 10 years. The Kaiser Family Foundation, KFF, estimates that Texas stands to lose $39 billion in Medicaid funding over 10 years, causing an estimated 200,000 Texans to not have health coverage. And they say an additional 1.7 million Texans might lose coverage because of the Affordable Care Act tax credits going away. You can argue with numbers in there. They've put that together. this healthcare being threatened was a potent weapon for Democrats in the first Trump term and the midterms. Are you worried about history repeating itself there?
Not at all, because we have two segments of this. One is the illegal immigrants that should not be on Medicaid. So Medicaid is meant for pregnant women, seniors, children, and the disabled, not for illegal immigrants. They're going to come off. And then you've got the able-bodied Americans that are not supposed to be on Medicaid, that are not working. They're cashing their government checks and playing video games. They should come off and join the economy, get a job, and contribute to the economy rather than cashing their government checks. So illegal immigrants and able-bodied adults that should be working.
Do you think that those groups account for those kinds of numbers that KFF is putting out?
Generally speaking, yes. There will be some slop in there, but yes, generally, yes.
Okay, let's talk about food stamps, food assistance next. $230 billion in SNAP cuts over those 10 years. Feeding Texas, which is a statewide network of food banks, says this is the largest rollback of food assistance in the nation's history at a time when 1 in 6 Texas households already struggles to put food on the table. They say the state got about $7 billion in SNAP funding last year, and they estimate that this would take away about $1 billion a year in that category. You all were looking to cut out waste, fraud, and abuse. Do you think that there is that much food assistance, waste, fraud, and abuse here in Texas?
Well, if you look at SNAP, and that's the program, Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, about half of all SNAP expenditures are for carbonated beverages. I submit to you that's not nutrition. So we want our poor families, our neediest, to buy meat, to buy potatoes, to buy vegetables, to buy dairy products, not carbonated beverages, not energy, not snack products in general. We want them to buy nutrition. That's what the program was designed to do.
So you think it can still do what it's doing on a slimmed down budget by taking certain items off the
Absolutely,
menu?
absolutely.
Let's talk about this conservative site, Dallas Express, and you know, this is not a liberal site that we're talking about. They called this a big, beautiful flip-flop. They took you on personally, called you some names in there. They had some notable conservatives saying some not nice things about you for your change in your stance on this bill. So some conservatives are unhappy. Liberals are definitely unhappy with this bill. Do you worry about this affecting you personally in the midterms next year?
Not really. Look, nobody likes to watch the sausage being made. But there was enough in this bill for everyone to hate. And we just have to understand. There was enough in there for everyone to hate. But generally speaking, we had to get the beauty across the line, and we had to rein in the beast. That's the bottom line.
Let's talk about what you call the beauty in this then. You said each member of Congress is obligated to return home and explain their actions to the constituents that they serve. How are you selling this to people? What do you say to people like, hey, sit tight, here's what I promise you out of this bill? And do you do that in town halls? Do you do that in ads? Do you do that in mailers?
Mainly social media. We had a town hall recently. We have another one on the schedule, so we'll do that as well. But frankly, when you look at the no tax on tips, no tax on overtime, no tax on Social Security, the tax cut, every single segment of the tax code will go down. So a lot of that, though, while that's good in the short term, a lot of that expires at the end of 28. So we have another cliff coming at the end of 28 because all of these tax cuts, many of these tax cuts expire. So we sell it in the short term. It's going to help every single taxpayer family in North Texas. But it's short term, and then we are depending on growth and tariff income not to blow out the debt. Because the debt is basically balancing our lifestyle on the backs of our children and our grandchildren. We should not do that.
What if the growth in tariff income doesn't do the trick, and you will have voted for something that put that much more debt onto the pile?
I can point to our fight went to 3 o'clock in the morning on last Thursday morning. And we will continue to fight. We will continue to fight because we've got more reconciliation bills coming. We've got the rescission bill that's in the Senate right now that if we can't cut $9.5 billion out of a deficit to help a deficit of $37 trillion, we're not doing our job. The Senate's not doing its job. So we will continue to fight. We've got appropriations bills, we've got rescission bills, we've got more reconciliation bills. There's plenty to do in Washington, D.C. to continue the fight for conservative values.
Last thing before I let you go, Brave, you got town halls on the agenda still.
Absolutely.
Some members haven't been doing those. What convinced you to keep going with that? And have you been told, like, hey, maybe hold off, because we had heard those reports months ago?
We've heard that, but look, I believe that in retail politics, looking somebody in the eye, standing up, stating your position, telling them why you voted, why your positions, I believe in retail politics.
Thanks for so much for being with us, Congressman Self. Really appreciate it.
You bet. Thank you.